looks like we'll all be in there. And as long as the record button's going, I'd hate to.
I'm just raving.
What's that?
I'm just raving.
Yeah. Hey there, everyone.
I'll probably try. I was ready for my insurance because I can only get a new pair every 2 years, and 2 years was like the 10th or the 11th of this month. So
You're due.
that's
Are
right.
your glasses broken?
No, that's just they steamed up and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I was telling him like I'll have them on. Sometimes I can see better. Sometimes without them. Sometimes I can see better with them. It's like
Now, do you need them to read or to see?
they're bifocals.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, did you normally not used to need glasses?
I've had them since 6th grade,
6th grade.
but probably about 8 years I've had bifocals. And
Okay. Yeah.
just I have a cataract started, and sometimes I can see better without them. And
Okay.
so now I go to what they call eye doctor specialist, a
Yeah.
regular eye doctor, and so they're monitoring it.
The fun begins at this age, doesn't it?
That's what they say.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun getting old, hasn't it, Doug?
I'm not old.
That's right. That's
What are
right.
you talking about?
Yeah.
I talked to somebody that goes hunting up here, Dan Hoover.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to him and Ellen Shire. I stopped in their place this afternoon, was talking to her for a while. First I've seen her in years. We graduated together, so.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ellen for a long time.
Yep.
Well, you and Ellen Hoover. Yeah, she's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Now, did Ellen graduate with you?
Yep.
Well, let's all say hi to Ellen. Hi, Ellen.
Well,
No, you don't even care. Wait, I think I might need to move the camera a little bit. Let's see. We want Doug to be in there too. There, that's good. Funny, Doug. Okay. All right. Well, we're back for another evening of Talk Time, and we have a guest tonight. Her name is Norma Bingham, who is a classmate of Doug's. And the topic tonight is about loss of loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, and which is kind of a hard topic, especially if you are still grieving the loss of a loved one, which I think that in some ways grief never ends, but you learn to live with it, I guess, is would be more. But Norma, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in this area. There were 6 of us all together, two girls, 4 boys, and now there's only 3 of us left, me and my 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I graduated from high school in '81, and now I live in Mechanicsburg. I lived down there probably over 20 years now.
How do you like living in Mechanicsburg?
It's a nice little town.
Mm-hmm.
It's close to a lot of areas like Gettysburg, Harrisburg,
Yeah.
Baltimore. Not that I go down to Baltimore too much, just once in a while, and
Yeah.
it's nice.
what took you to Mechanicsburg?
I got a job down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a job down there, and then I decided to stay.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in an apartment for 5 years, and I decided to get a house. I have a house now, so,
Cool.
and 2 cats.
2 cats.
2 cats.
Norma and her cats.
That's right. I'm a cat woman.
Well, our son now, he works in Mechanicsburg at Napa Transportation.
Okay.
So probably he's not far from you.
Nope.
And he lives in Harrisburg. So there again,
Just
relatively close.
just over the river on.
Yeah, he lives on the east shore, and I live on the west shore.
Yeah.
It's the Susquehanna River that divides the two.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Is it a pretty safe town, Mechanicsburg?
Mechanicsburg is, yeah.
Yeah. What about Harrisburg?
It depends on what section.
Yes.
It's
okay.
like a lot of towns, there's rough sections, and there's nice sections.
Yeah. So pretty much
Yeah.
like anywhere then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you had won. Your name was picked in the drawing to come on one of the talk times. So you picked the topic for this evening. We did before. We had John and Autumn Brandt. They picked the topic, and it was about marriage and what God does in their marriage. You picked the topic about loss of loved ones, which God plays a big role in our grieving and helping us through the grief of loss of loved ones. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little check there, Norma. That is yours, so I don't forget to give it to you because that we just gave out some money for people because this is a little bit harder to do. A lot of people will watch like to watch something, but they don't like to, be on the camera.
Participate.
Participate.
Yeah,
They
that's right.
don't want to, so that's why we thought we might give a little bit more incentive for somebody to come on. And the kids, we force the kids to come on. We don't pay our kids to come on.
She doesn't pay me either.
No.
She feeds you, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes, huh? Now that the kids are gone, it's kind of like slim
You fend
pickings
for
upstairs.
yourself.
You just go up the hill to your daughters.
There you go. Hey, you know what? Lindsay's a good cook, and she would cook
Yeah,
for
she
her
would.
dad.
She would
cook
feed
for
me,
her
yeah.
dad.
There you go.
Likes to cook. So, now we all have, suffered loss of people, but some of us have suffered a lot more than others. We've been quite fortunate.
We have been very
We have been
fortunate.
fortunate. We have lost loved ones, but you've lost siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are your parents still living?
No.
No. So you've lost a good bit of your family,
Mm-hmm.
close family.
And I have one aunt. I have two aunts living yet.
Yeah.
And then the rest are like cousins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Yeah, it makes it rather hard. Whose death do you think was the hardest for you?
Mm.
I mean, they're all hard, but
When I thought about this topic, I was thinking about, like, when I was 2 years old, both my sister and my dad both died the same year when I was 2.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I don't think I really officially coped with that
Mm-hmm.
because I don't remember them because I was only 2. I mean, my sister died in March. It was the day after her 4th birthday. She was sick and stuff. And my dad died like December 30th on his birthday.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and he drove gas truck and it overturned and he burnt.
Oh my gosh.
But they think he might have had a heart attack.
Which
but-
would have led to the.
And I think it's that, and they don't think he really got over the grief of losing my sister daughter. So,
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Mom was left with 5 of us kids, ages 2 through like 15
Wow.
to raise herself. So she kind of like, and yeah, that's affected me a lot too.
Yeah, I'm sure it has.
Yeah, so then a few years ago, within a 7-month period, I had 7 relatives die, including 3 aunts, 2 cousins, and my mom and my brother.
Wow.
And then my oldest brother died a few years before that, so yeah.
It's been rough.
So, but you kind of just, I think you just lay everything back in you just kind of like go on, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just have to really stop and deal with it, and that I don't think I really have.
Mm-hmm.
Because the older I get, the more I'm wondering how life would have been different for me if I had a sister, because I know sisters can be really close.
Yeah.
I know you have sisters, so you can,
Mhm.
or brothers can be close too. Because, like, when my sister died, I have 2 brothers that were close in age, like 2 years apart, and then the other 2 brothers maybe 5 years apart.
Mhm.
So they kind of hung out, and they kind of hung out, so there's just me and Mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of like stayed to myself. Didn't really do much as a kid. I just spent a lot of time alone in my bedroom and just kind of like didn't have any friends over or nothing. Never really went to anybody's house. I guess what do you call it?
Introvert.
Introvert and just homebody or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I never really knew what it was like to have friendships. I never really knew what it's like to have a close relation with family, like a sibling,
Mm-hmm.
because of that. Because brothers don't want your sister coming along
No.
on their activities.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
Doug, you never had any
I didn't have any
sisters.
sisters. I had 2 brothers.
But yeah, if you did, would you want your sister?
Well, I'll tell you what. My younger brother, poor thing, he was the baby, and he had 3 older sisters. So when he used to want to play with us, we used to have girlfriends over and stuff, and he would come and we would go running to the bedroom, and we would just shut that door and lock it. You could hear him wanting in and everything. We didn't want our
Didn't
little
care, did
brother.
you?
No, we didn't want him.
hear anything? I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing. Yeah, it does. It really has. It's just like, so I never really did that. So I was like always a loner growing up. I never really knew how to get close to people and stuff, and fear maybe losing them and stuff. It's just,
It just affected your
It
whole
affected
being.
you,
Yeah, and I don't think my mom ever, she dealt with it, but I don't think she really dealt with it. She just knew she had to raise the kids.
She didn't have time to deal with it.
Oh.
Well,
raising
too, and
kids.
she just had to survive.
Yeah.
She had to survive because she probably was not able to have the time, like you said, to deal with her grief.
Mm-hmm.
But still having 5 children to raise
Yep.
after the loss of a child and your husband, I can't even. I just can't
Yeah.
even imagine that grief and the stress and the strain. I can't.
She's probably already, I think she's only like 37 or 38 at the
Oh
time.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
'cause
Yeah.
I think she was 35 when she had me and I was 2, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that, I know she never, I know I've had, like, coping problems,
Mm-hmm.
getting
Yeah.
along with, I have trouble getting along with people at times, I had a lot of trouble getting along with my family members, I just never learned.
Yeah.
Basically, from a young age, like how
Mhm.
to, she was a homebody, she never had anybody over, she's never one that wanted to go out, and I'm closer to her side of family than I am to my dad's side of family, because
Yeah.
we never really associated too much with my dad's side of family
Right.
once he died.
Right.
I mean, unless we happened to see him out or we had to go to their house for some reason. But yeah. And my mom's side of the family, each week we'd go down and visit her parents, my grandparents and cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'd go there at Christmas time, and that's when we'd have fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
eat, play card games and stuff. But unfortunately, when the grandparents died, that kind of went away
That
too.
does, yeah.
But yeah, but that was a fun time though. So yeah, it's just, I know, like, I have issues with, I've had depression, I think, most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Did not realize it at the time till after I moved down to Mechanicsburg that I had some issues, and the one person I work, I think, yeah, depression.
Yeah.
So they have like a special program there that you can talk to somebody, and they said yes, and then I did see, I was on some medicine at one time, and did see a therapist for a while, and
Did it seem to
Did it
help?
help?
it seemed to help, and then and then probably about 10 years later, it started to come back again.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then, I saw some, and then it seemed like everything seemed fine, and I could tell right now it's starting a little bit again.
Yeah.
But I realize now it's what it is, and I'm trying to figure out a lot of it is right now is stress at work. And
Oh,
other
that
ti-
can be a
a lot of
trigger,
stress at work and other things. You know, I know I'm ready for a change of pace at work. I'm
Mhm.
just not sure yet what I want to do. But yeah, it's just like I'm wondering, like, what's it feel like to have a sibling you can be close to and do stuff with, or what's it like to have a dad? You know, to
Yeah.
really, because I know daughters usually look up to their dads for stuff, and I
Mhm.
never really had a father figure in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I've dated a few times, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work out. It's just, I think I just felt uncomfortable because I don't know what you do when you have I'm a guy, you know?
Yeah.
I just, yeah, you know, it's like each year I just wondering how things would be different, and sometimes when I see sisters together, it's like, it must be nice to be able to do things together.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like I got chipped out of it.
Is there
Big
any type of group get-togethers or anything down there? Like, is there any type of grief groups that get together? Or,
It probably is. I
yeah.
don't know, I think some of the churches have them, and some of the, I think I did go to one of them at the one church.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who died. I think that's when I was really having a lot of trouble with some stuff. And I think that's when my mom had first onset Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yeah.
I think I could tell I was losing her and stuff, and I think I did go
Yeah.
to a group and stuff. But I think there's other groups there too. But I am actively involved in the church, which is really helping me through.
Sure.
That's good. Yeah.
And they're like my family. They're
Very
more,
good.
They're more, even though they're not blood related, I feel like they're more of a family to me than my blood related
Right.
ones. I hate to say that, but
Well, I'll tell
Well,
you,
it's
that is,
easier.
yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you see them weekly and you're around
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
you have to-
and they know more what's going on in my life
Mm-hmm.
than
Yeah.
my family does, because I don't feel they really need to know what's going on.
Well, sometimes it can be easier to talk to somebody who isn't a blood relative, somebody who, you know,
outside all the situations.
yeah, sometimes that can be easier.
And sometimes family just want to use your passing intro too, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, church is very accepting. They know some stuff. They know at times have issues and stuff, but they're fine
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah, they're just like, it's just each year is like, if I had a sister I could run around, maybe we'd do something. Maybe she would have taught me stuff. She would have taught me how to do this. She would have taught me how to take care of the house better. She would have taught me, maybe some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she taught me more how to be a, what's it called, girly girl or something?
Girly girls.
I got taught growing up with brothers. I'm a cowboy. I don't like dressing up.
Hey,
I don't.
that's fine. That's
I don't like
fine.
makeup or something. Yeah, I'm like more of a tomboy. I mean, I'd get out there and play football with my brothers, and they would have some friends over, classmates over. Yeah, we'd get out there, play football, kick ball. They were fine with that.
Uh-huh.
That fun. But I would tackle them too,
Here comes Norma.
I would not hesitate to tackle them. So I kind of like a bully sometimes too. But
Well, here are some of the most common causes of death. It's sad to say, but heart disease ranks number 1, and cancer is number 2. We hear a lot of people
You would
from
think
cancer.
cancer would be even number 1, but
It says that they're pretty close. It says for heart disease, and these would be in the United States, the death rate per year is 635,260. Now, of course, that could vary from year to year, but and cancer is 598,038. So cancer is 21.7% of the cause, and heart disease is 23.1. So they're really
very
close.
close.
The third one is accidents, unintentional injuries, and that accounts for 5.9%. And chronic lower respiratory diseases accounts for about 5.6. I find that hard to believe that chronic lower respiratory disease ranks above stroke. Stroke has 5.18%, about 142,000 deaths a year. And Alzheimer's, that is about 4.23%, about 116,000 people die a year from that. Diabetes, 2.9% and about 80,000. And influenza and pneumonia, 1.88%. That is a scary thing. That's about 51,000 people die from the flu and pneumonia. You wouldn't even think that you could die from the flu, but that's mainly in the elderly, the children, and
These older
pregnant.
people,
Yeah.
yeah.
And kidney disease, but a sad one is number 10 is suicide. And that is almost 45,000 suicide deaths a year. And isn't that sad? And we just went to the viewing of a young fella who had committed suicide. And then they have some other ones here too. But it says that a lot of these causes in anywhere, a lot of them can be prevented by some lifestyle changes, some healthier life. Some things just doesn't matter, but a lot of it can be prevented.
And those
And-
changes are hard to make.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
was
this stuff right here.
Yeah, I know.
How do you stay out of
a
that?
big old bowl of candy. Yeah, I tell you what, it is hard, and it's kind of like takes the fun out of life. Some of the things you have to do to do that. But here we'll also talk about the normal stages of grief. And Norma, tell me if you've felt any of these. Denial. When you first learn of the loss, it's normal to think this isn't happening. Did you
not
ever have
too-
denial?
Not too much because not with the family members, because most of them, there was a couple I didn't know they were sick that died,
Yes.
but some of them I knew were sick.
So you had time to prepare.
So I knew,
Yeah.
I knew it was like time, like when my two brothers and my mom, I knew
yeah,
eventually, yeah. But some of them, like my cousin that died, I didn't realize he was sick.
yeah,
And then my one aunt that died, it's like, oh, okay. And then when my uncle died, it's like, oh, that kind of threw me off guard because I didn't realize he was that sick.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Usually the ones that you would be in denial may be the ones that are shocking, like
Yeah.
when Jack's father died in a car accident at the age of 25.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting that, so you're kind of in denial. Or when I lost friends at school, like a 12-year-old friend due to a car accident, and then a 14-year-old friend at the Bedford Fair. You know, those
Okay.
are like ones that don't expect, and they just blindside you.
Yeah.
Out of the blue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
some of those would be denial. Anger. Did you ever feel angry?
Oh yeah, I still do at times.
Yeah, yeah. You may feel frustrated, helpless, and these feelings can later turn into anger. You can even, sometimes people get angry at God too. They get
Oh, yeah.
angry at God. God, why did you do this? Why did you allow this
Yeah,
to
for a
happen?
while. Yeah, for a while I just didn't go to church at all, and then
Yeah.
that really helped me. And then the church I go to now, they was having a depression screening, and some of the members there was like, "Why don't you try this out?" And I did, and they accepted. The very accepting church, so
Very good.
that helped me through some stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I got back involved in church, so
Yep. Bargaining. Some people will kind of think, if only, and what if I had done something different? Could this have been prevented? Or they try to bargain with God, or they do different things. But it says bargaining is the third stage of grief.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
think too much of that, no.
But here's the one, depression.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Sadness sets in as you begin to understand the loss and its effect on your life. Signs of depression include crying, sleep issues, and decreased appetite. You may feel overwhelmed, regretful, and lonely. So depression is a common thing, not only for the loss of a grief of over a death of someone, but just a loss in general. You can have loss of friendships. You can have, people can be grief over loss of a job, or, you know, other things in life where there's
pet.
loss. A pet.
A pet.
A pet.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, their pets are just like their children.
Mm-hmm.
So they can have grief over
Yeah.
the loss of a pet.
And I have, like when I'm depressed, I have a tendency to turn towards food
Yes.
to help me through it.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, it's my way
That
of
is
coping.
common.
Your
That's
way,
a big coping effort. And talking about depression, that causes
Yeah.
a lot of suicides too.
Yes.
Yes.
And
So
there-
you can see how that.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, there's a few times I've tried stuff, I have scars and stuff,
Yeah.
and they took me to the ER already, and yeah, there's a few times I've
Yeah.
even thought about jumping in front of a train and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
So-
that's definitely, and when you do start to feel like that, those are times where you do need to reach out, and your
So-
church family is there,
yeah.
and to reach out to someone to hold, you know, give you that hope, have that, like that rope to hold on to
Mhm.
keep you. Yes. Acceptance. The final stage is acceptance. You accept the reality of your loss.
Except that doesn't mean you you really want them to be sometimes.
Yeah. You accept it, although you still feel sad.
Yeah.
You're able to start moving forward with your life. You know that you have come full circle when you can say that the loss is there, the pain's still
Yeah.
there, but you're still able to
Yeah.
function. You're still able to move on. And then if you go through those phases, it does say how long to mourn. Well, there is no time
There's no
frame.
time.
There is
Some
no.
person it
everybody's-
feels like there should be, you know. It's
yeah,
like,
there
yeah.
isn't. If somebody says, "Well, it's been 2 years, you need to get over it now," you just have to be concerned with,
Mm-hmm.
do I need professional help at a certain point in time? Is that depression taking over? You
Yeah.
know, do I need to see someone? Do I need to seek counseling when you start to feel down?
Yeah, or something happens, or something comes on TV, or something, or a memory just pops in your head, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Just see, like even anniversary dates,
Sometimes.
birthdays of that person,
Yeah.
or just a memory of something special
Yeah.
you had done together.
hmm
But here's some ways it says to help. Give yourself time.
oh yeah,
Accept your feelings and know that grieving is a process. Talk to others. Spend time with family and friends. Do not isolate yourself. So even though you say you may not be as close to your blood relatives, you do have your church family.
hmm
So if you try not to isolate yourself and accept their help and ask for help when you need help.
Yep.
It says to take care of yourself. Exercise regularly, eat well and get enough sleep. to stay healthy and energized. So let's just throw that bowl of candy right out. So, but yeah, and you know what? I even have a hard time. I'll be staying up late. I actually need to make sure that I get rest just so I feel better. Rest can, when you're exhausted, you don't have as much energy to even deal with life.
Oh yeah, I know.
You
it's
know,
like,
when you're tired, everything seems harder.
Yeah.
Harder.
I feel like I'm over 3 on that list.
Yeah. Whoops. Norma's not doing this. It says return to your hobbies. Get back to activities that bring you joy. Do you have any hobbies? Anything that brings you joy?
Oh, I like to put puzzles together sometimes and do wood puzzles and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm trying to get outside a little more, enjoying the fresh air and
Yeah.
stuff.
Very good.
But
Very
Well,
good.
You're up this way quite often, aren't you?
not too often. Not as often as I used to
Oh,
be.
really? I
Yeah.
just.
I try to get up maybe 4 times a year.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
thought you were up here more than that.
Nah.
Now, the last, you were here for a picnic. I forget which picnic that was. Was it a church style? Was it that Miller church?
That was that church one last year, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I came up for, I think, fall foliage or something. That's when when I stopped in. Every time I come up, I always stop in to say hi to you guys at the.
The office.
Yeah.
She stopped in a few
And I'm
times
never
at the
there.
office now.
Yeah, I think that was like, what was it, the fall foliage or something. I stopped in for that.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
I just assumed you were up here more
Yeah.
often.
And then, too, it says join a support group.
So.
So speak with others who are also grieving. It can help you feel more connected. When you know that somebody else is going through the same thing that you're going through, not necessarily the same thing, but a
Yeah.
form of grief,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody grieves differently. And it talks here about different ways to comfort someone. Name names. You don't, does it, if somebody mentions, say, your brother or your mother or your dad's name, does it bother you, or would you prefer somebody to talk to you about them and treat them as though...
It doesn't bother me because sometimes they tell me some stuff I didn't know. Especially with my dad, because
Uh-huh.
that's another thing that growing up, we never talked about my sister or my dad growing up for some reason. I don't know why, but I had a paper route. I found out more about my dad with my paper route customers. They're
Yeah.
telling like, oh, he used to go down and he used to like to talk. He used to like to do this. It's like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
So it was kind of probably nice
Yeah,
to hear a little bit about your dad.
Yeah,
I would imagine if your mom, it would have been difficult to talk
Yeah.
about your dad, and especially your sister too, being so
Yeah.
dying so close together. I'm sure she had a hard time with that.
Yeah, there was, I looked up some things here of what some ladies who had lost children, and of course, children would be an awful, awful person to lose. But people can feel like this with any loss. But they felt like they couldn't breathe. They would get panic attacks. They were furious one minute. They were angry with themselves. They were angry with God. They would cry until they thought there was no more water left in their body, only to find out there was still more. It was sometimes some people would feel guilty. What could they have done to maybe prevent it? Some it was a suffocating, horrific guilt. It was heartache, as if somebody had taken out their heart, put a knife in the pit of their stomach. Sadness. Somebody said it was like a huge elephant pressing on their chest. Shock. And it would take literal effort to breathe. And later, they've noticed years later that every so often a wave of grief would just hit. Unexpectedly, out of the blue, just this terrible wave of grief would hit. And this is years later. It's not just like days. And some people said it was like having a giant gaping hole in their heart. Their heart would feel physically heavy. And it was just they also had a strong sense of longing. So it was, and then somebody says about the roller coaster, it can be up and down, up and down,
Oh, yeah.
up and down.
I experienced that a lot.
Yeah, so there may be days that are rough for you. But it says too, some of the things you can do for people is to offer them hope. Make a phone call. Say, hey, how are you today? Write a note. Some people may like to get cards or a note and help out. Not just say you're going to help out,
Yeah.
but actually help out. Be sensitive to differences. You have to be sensitive to people mourn differently. Also, people have different religious beliefs, so you can be, kind that way too. Just be there to help out. Make a date. Maybe if you have somebody you know, make a date once a week or once every other week to take a walk, maybe taking a movie, that type of thing. Listen well instead of advising.
There's the big one.
There's a big one.
We learned in Stephen Ministry, the biggest thing to do is be able to listen.
That's hard sometimes.
That's hard to do sometimes because we often want to give advice or
Yep,
suggest things, but if you can just sit and listen to a person.
yeah. And that's hard to do. We do want to, because it's hard to see a person grieving and you want to make them smile, or you might want them to move on because you don't want to see them hurt. But the grieving process, that's the only way they can heal, is to go through that grief. And they need to cry. They need to get it out. They need to do stuff. So, yeah, those are some ways. And then, too, if people sometimes will be angry at whoever is there. So you need to just gently handle their anger, not say anything until you give them a little bit of time, and then in a non-threatening way discuss that anger.
I'd say, don't take it personal.
Don't take it
Yeah.
personally.
Choose not to be offended by it, because understand where that's coming from.
Yeah. So, they did talk about what you could do is a tribute memory book. If you had like family members, they said you could, they give you a thing of conversation starters about the deceased person. And you can put like right now we could do a little video or we could do an audio taping of it, get the family together, and you all talk about these questions. You might say, how would you describe the deceased? What you would say the person's name, like, how would you describe your brother or your sister? Or what did you call them? Any nicknames, terms? And it just goes down through some different things. How did you meet? All these type of things. And you can make up little memory books, tribute books, or little videos, or audio books. And it's a fun way to remember them, even though you still grieve. This might be something you would do a few years later, not right at the time. But it's ways to, kind of make a memorial for that person, something that the whole family could enjoy.
Yeah, my sister's birthday is on the first day of spring, so I don't know how many years ago I started. We had every years down there. You get free Italian ice. So first day of spring, I'd do that in memory of her.
There you go.
I don't know how long ago I started that, but that's what I do each March 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like this one's for you.
This one's for you.
That's right.
A
What's
little
her name?
memory.
Donna.
Donna.
Yep.
And then they go on to say things that you should never say to a grieving person. They are in a better place. They may be in a better place, but you're to acknowledge the loss by saying, I'm sorry for your loss. They will be sorely missed. You're recognizing that the grief, that the person is no longer around, but it's still difficult. Instead of saying, even though you may have good intentions.
yeah.
Yeah, they may be in a better place, but you want them here.
I know I've told a couple of them at church they've had some their parents had died from dementia all the time.
Yeah.
And since I know what it's like, I said, it's probably a blessing they're not here. It's like, yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they understand. I understand
yeah.
because they knew I went through some of the
They
same
knew
stuff.
you went through the same
Yeah.
thing, so you were
So she-
offering, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yep, it is. That way, it's like a load off your shoulder in a way.
Yeah.
So,
And then,
Terrible disease.
oh yeah.
so
And then, I know how you feel. This is what they're saying. We don't know how each other feels. You might have some idea, but instead they say to not assume that you know. Just say something like, we're keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. Sometimes we say more than we need to say. Or it's God's will. No, don't say that one.
No, you don't want to say that one.
Instead, you're supposed to, if you know the person shares your belief in God, try to remind them that God loves and cares about them, and God is aware of their pain. For example, I pray that God will make it easy for you and your family during this difficult time. There's all things. Everything happens for a reason. Nah, that one's. Some of those you can't find any. There's no logical reason.
What's the reason?
What
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the reason?
No, you
Don't
just-
tell me that.
Yep.
It says, sometimes there is no reason for that. So, this is one. You can still have another child. Oh my gosh. So
Wow.
those are not things that
That's
you
like
say.
you're replacing the one that died.
That's right. You can never
Yeah.
replace somebody who died. So
Oh.
yeah, that's a big no-no there.
I think it goes for sometimes with pets, like if you have a pet, well, you can just get another one, but you don't know how special the one you
That
have.
special
Yeah,
one
it's
was
You know, like
good,
they
yeah.
have, special characteristics,
Yeah.
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 It's like,
Yeah.
true, I could, but it's not going to be this.
It's still a different pet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not fluffy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hug me like like the other one
Aw.
does. It doesn't.
And this one says you have to be strong. No. What to stay and set. You're supposed to have time to have that weakness and that grief. Don't make them feel weak for, not being able to be strong at that time. And also it says some people say you have to stay strong for the kids. You do, but you also have to deal with that grief. And kids need to see that it's okay to grieve, or this is one I've heard people say. They wouldn't want you to feel sad. Well, sometimes people need to hear that it's okay to feel sad. Of course, they might not want you to be sad, but you're sad.
Yeah, you're gonna be sad.
You're going to be
Oh, yeah.
sad. And this one here, at least they're not suffering now. It says instead of focusing on that, rather focus on the positive attributes about the person's life that the grieving person would want to remember by saying something like, Mom showed so much strength, or I will always remember Mom, or, that type of thing. Focus on the positive traits about that instead of saying that they're not suffering now.
I know at my mom's funeral, I got up and did a little talk, and I did it different than what other people do. I said, yeah, I remember like on New Year's Day, you can smell sauerkraut in the house. On was it Good Friday, she would kill the eggs, you could smell the vinegar. Thanksgiving Day, you smell the turkey.
Yeah.
And
So you had all those memories.
so yeah, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So
So you were sharing the memories of
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
so
And one thing that you should not say is, if you need anything, give me a call. Instead, you should be sincere in that offer of help. Be specific in your offering. For example, if you know you're going to the grocery store, you could give that person a call and ask if they need anything. And or offer to make a meal or do something specific
Sure,
instead
yeah.
of just saying, because a lot of times a grieving person is so overwhelmed with grief, they can't even think
Yeah.
straight. So they may not even know what they need.
Yeah, most of the time they don't need anything. You're not going to be able to do anything for them at the
Yeah.
present time anyway.
That's right. That's right.
That's a quick thing to say though, because I've said that.
Oh, yeah, just give me a call. Or at least they lived a long life. Some people die so young. Yeah, but still you want that person to be with you too. So those are just some things, but it's hard to know what to say to somebody. It's just, and sometimes you're just we're awkward. We're afraid that we might hurt them more if we say something to somebody who just,
I think your point of keeping it simple though is
yeah,
the
just
best thing.
you're in our prayers.
Yeah, you can't say anything at that point really to
help.
to
No, to take the pain away. No.
just share in it.
and I was like actually at one meeting where somebody was talking about their son. Their son, I think died or cancer. I don't know, died for some reason. And he's like, worst problem I have is nobody wants to ask me how he was. Nobody wants to talk to him. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to ask me, about him. Like, want to know how was he, and stuff. They just
Yeah.
don't want. Afraid to even bring up his name. That's
Yeah.
what some brothers are afraid to. Once somebody dies, they're afraid to bring up the name. It's like,
Yeah.
But that's what she really means. Like, nobody wants to talk about him since he's not there. It's like, There's a lot we could talk about, but
And I think that's what it is. They said it's to bring up the names of people,
Yeah.
And people were afraid to for fear they'll bring up sad memories, for fear they'll hurt you, and that's where we can feel awkward about talking about somebody who has died, especially to somebody you know that was in deep, like a parent who has lost a child. You're afraid to bring up that person's name, but some people will.
But probably the person would want to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're going to remember positive things about the person and talk about the happy times.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yep. The moments that brought you joy. I thought this was nice, and of course everybody has their own opinions on these, but this is something that was on Billy Graham's site. Does an angel come to be with us and take us to heaven when we die? I hope so, because this is a question somebody had. I hope so because I don't expect to live much longer, and I don't like the thought of being all alone when I die. So this was the answer. Yes, the Bible indicates that when we die, we will not be alone, but angels will accompany us on our journey to heaven. In one of his parables, Jesus told about a poor man who had suffered much during his time on earth. When he died, Jesus said the angels carried him to Abraham's side. But the Bible also reminds us that we are never alone if we've given our lives to Jesus Christ, because God has come to live within us by his Holy Spirit and has adopted us into his family. One of Jesus' most comforting promises was spoken to his disciples just before he was taken back to heaven. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. He is with us every minute of the day, right up to the moment of death. Life isn't always easy, especially as we grow older, but ahead of us is heaven, where we'll be safely in God's presence forever. Let that great truth encourage and strengthen you every day. So, you know, when we have doubts, if we did not believe in God or didn't have that security, how would you handle grief and the loss of a loved one? How do people cope? Unless there is the hope that life is going on, you know, that this life is not all there is.
We've asked that question quite a few times.
Yeah, how
what
do
do
you
people
go
hang
on?
on to?
Yeah,
I don't know that. You know, some
Yeah.
people deal with alcohol and that sort of thing, but
Yeah.
you know, what do other people hang on to when they don't have
Mm-hmm.
have God in their life?
You had did you look up some things you were going to talk about?
You already talked about them all.
Did I really? Oh, daggone it, Doug. Daggone it. Well-
Yep, you went down all those stages and so forth. The one thing this paper said, that even though it talks about those stages of grief, it doesn't always happen in that order.
No.
You know,
No.
and there's no right or wrong way to grieve, and all people will grieve differently. So it's
There's no one way. Like if somebody says, "Oh, well, I grieved this and it only lasted this amount of time, and I didn't have any depression. I just had this," that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the way you grieve. You know, it's different for everyone.
Oh yeah, because I went to visit I don't know how many years ago, I went to visit somebody whose husband passed away maybe 3 years before that. She said, I still don't have the strength to go in and look at the letters I got yet.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
cards and stuff, and I just can't do that yet. I still have not read out the closet. I can't do that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, like, so it's like, well, maybe eventually you will,
Yeah.
but, you know.
there would be people that say, "Come on, let's read those together," or
So,
try to
Yeah.
convince a person to feel a certain way, but
yeah.
If they're not ready, they're not
Yeah.
ready. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all on your own timetable.
Yeah. And there again, though, you do have to watch out that your timetable, that if you do have close friends or family, that you're not in a low state of depression, that's the reason you can't. Now, if this person is still functioning and living life and getting out of the house, but just can't go through that right now, that may be different. But if she can't get out of bed, if she can't, and it's been 3 years, if she can't, you know, feed herself or go to the store or those times, then probably it's time to make sure that they're
Get some help.
get some
Yeah,
help.
yeah, she's able to get out of the house and
So
stuff.
she's
you know.
able to do that
And she's
kind of
able to get
stuff.
around stuff. Yeah, she
So it's just a matter
she
of
just
she
does.
just can't do
Yeah,
that yet.
she's probably not quite to the exception period.
Yes.
So she's
Right.
still
She's
hoping
not, yeah.
he would come back. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I remember one thing my mom did talk about my sister's death was she said told me this a couple of times was she died in the hospital, but she said right before she died, my sister kept saying, "There's a bright light. I see a bright light."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
mom's like, I didn't see no light, but you know,
Yeah.
she kept seeing the bright light like
Yeah.
she was trying to. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the only person I've ever. She's the only person I heard that somebody talked about that the loved one said that.
Yeah.
I haven't had so. Yeah.
Yep. Here's some myths. Myths. The pain will go away faster if you ignore it. No.
I don't know if there's any way to ignore
No.
it.
No.
No.
That would be probably if you try to ignore it or just brush it under the rug.
Yeah,
Pretend
shoot.
it's just not
You
there.
can try, but it
It
all,
just ain't gonna
after a while
It'll come out.
Yeah, I think
in
that's
one way or another.
I think that's what I did. I just balled everything up growing
Yeah.
up, and I just
And then eventually it came out one.
yeah.
Yep. It's important to be strong in the face of loss. Well, your mom had to be strong
Yeah.
because she had to raise those kids, but it's a shame she couldn't have had time to grieve and be weak and let somebody else help her.
She
You know?
she was very independent. She didn't want help. She didn't even
Yeah.
ask. She would have asked for help, and unfortunately, that's what I'm getting from her. I don't like asking for help either.
Oh yeah, that's like thanks, mom.
Yeah, I don't like to ask a person for help. But she never wasn't one to talk much either, and I'm the same boat. I don't really talk too much myself
Yeah.
either. So yeah, I'm getting more outspoken, and this is like definitely out of my comfort zone. But
No, you-
But here
So-
you are.
Yeah, here you are.
And
So-
you know what's the great thing? You're here, and a lot of people out there have grieved or had the loss of somebody. You can help somebody
so
by them hearing that, hey, you know what? I'm normal. I'm pretty normal for feeling this way, you know? So yeah. Myth. If you don't cry, it means you aren't sorry about the loss. Some people don't cry. Some people don't. They have their grief differently.
I think some people don't cry in public. They may cry
Right. When they're by
privately,
themselves. Yeah.
but they don't want to share that emotion of crying around people.
all the time I cry over movies. I cry over
I'm like a blubbering idiot.
I cry over storyboards. I cry, or so. It's like
The kids used to make fun of me, like when I would watch TV, they'd be looking at my face to see how I was bawling like a blubbering fool.
it's like I have my cats at home and I'm like chugging my cat.
Yeah, I think that's more of a man thing. Men are more likely to not want to be seen crying. Women, though, we're just like, I can see somebody else crying, I don't even know, and I'll be like,
Or they start laughing and you're like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm laughing at. But yeah, I used to really. I'm actually one thing I'm really got better at. I used to cry when somebody made fun of me or gave me a rough
Sure.
time, or because I have issues with speech at times, or it used to really upset me. Sometimes it upsets me now, but I just don't. I'm able to deal with it a lot better than I used to growing up.
well, you know what? As a child, children are cruel.
So
Children are cruel. They don't think. Even adults can be cruel, but it would be hard as a child to be picked on, and that stays with you through adulthood too. That can mess with your self-confidence,
Everything.
everything. So yeah. Also here that we talked about this earlier, grieving says should last about a year. That's a myth.
Mm-hmm.
I've known some people who have lost a loved one and they never really have gotten over it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and moving on with your life, this is a myth, means forgetting about your loss.
No,
No,
you can move on, but
you always remember that
Yeah.
I
person,
don't
that
think
loss, that
you'll ever
grief.
forget.
yeah.
So there was just a few more things we'll go and we'll be done here. Seek support for grief and loss. Turn to friends and family members. Except that many people feel awkward when trying to comfort someone else who's grieving.
Mm-hmm.
So don't take that as an insult or they don't care. They just don't know how to comfort. They don't feel comfortable. And a lot of times I find that I'm just don't know what to say to somebody.
Well, I think we all feel awkward
You
in
know,
those
you think,
situations.
what on earth? How do I even say anything that's going to be of any help to this person now? So you just don't say anything, you know.
Especially if you really don't know the person either.
Yeah.
You know, what do you say? It might be a little different if they're a close family
Yeah.
member, but
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah.
Draw comfort from your faith. So there again, you can find comfort in God. You can find comfort in your church family. Reach out to them. Reach out to God. Do anything it takes to feel that comfort from people around you. And then join a support group, and we had mentioned that earlier. And talk to a therapist or a grief counselor. So it says to take care of yourself, face your feelings, try to maintain your hobbies and interests. Don't let anyone tell you how you should feel, and don't tell yourself how you should feel either. So don't say, well, you know what, I should be better by now. You know.
Yeah, I think it said that in here too. It's be honest with yourself and be honest with your feelings. It's not to
Yeah.
think, well, I should be feeling this way or that way.
Yeah. Plan ahead for grief triggers, anniversaries, holidays, milestones that can reawaken that. There again, that could be your roller coaster. You know, you're feeling pretty good for a while and then boom, something like that can trigger that. And then look after your own physical health. Physical health can affect your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, all of that. Keep that. So that was pretty much what I wanted to. And of course, there's many scriptures that are comforting to us. Let's see. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. This is a lady who wrote some of these scriptures that was helpful for her. She lost a child. And she said she certainly didn't feel blessed because she was mourning. She started taking a hard look at the last part of the verse, though. For they shall be comforted. That means God will provide comfort when you're hurting so badly you feel like you can't take another breath. He will sustain you and carry you through this time. He will provide what you need, but only if you ask Him to. He does not barge into your life and take charge without you asking Him to do so. So if you want comfort, guess what? You got to ask for it. God, comfort me. Also, too, if we want comfort in this life with people, a lot of times people are too shy and backward. Ask them. You know what? I could really use your friendship now. I could really, how about we spend some time together, or, you know. Let me see, I'm going to just read one more. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden. I love this one too. And I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. This was Matthew 11:28 through 30. It says here, I wanted rest and peace more than anything. I was weary. God provided it in ways I never expected, and in some ways that I didn't realize until a long time later. Sometimes a stranger's kind word or a thoughtful gesture meant so much to me and brought me comfort. Not everyone said the right things, but there were a lot of people who did, just by being there when I needed them and knowing they cared. So sometimes God can even put the right people in your path, and all they need to be there is just to let them, you know, that they care. They just need to be there. Maybe not say the right things, just listen.
And then, like, first Sunday I was in church after mom's funeral and stuff. We have a balcony at church, so I was sitting up there. I guess everyone's sitting up there, but during last prayer, one of the other members came up and stood beside me and put their arm around me.
Yeah.
Because they knew I needed it.
Yeah.
So.
Isn't a hug
Yeah.
great? A
So,
hug.
yeah.
A hug can be one of the
Yeah.
greatest
Sometimes it
blessings.
says more than words, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
yeah,
Yes, indeed.
sometimes you don't have to say anything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like growing up. Our family never said we loved each other, and we never really was a huggy family or nothing,
Aw.
and so not much touch. So yeah, I think that's something else I we kind of missed out on a lot.
Yeah,
So,
because we all need that physical touch, that to know
Yeah.
that somebody loves us.
yeah.
I think the older families, though, that was maybe not the norm.
Yeah.
but-
People, I think,
I
are
don't
more
think they were-
huggy-dovey.
I think
Yeah.
families are real vocal about saying "I love you," especially fathers. And, my dad didn't really say that a whole lot when we were kids. He says it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad.
Quite often.
My
but-
dad was never natured to be lovey-dovey, huggy. My dad always showed us in different ways. His
Yeah.
ways was doing things for us. He would make sure we always had a vacation once a year. He always worked hard, made sure there was food on the table. He did things like that. That's how he showed his love.
And he was there for you.
He was always
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
So we didn't have to worry about whether Dad was going to be. We knew that
Yeah.
we could count on him. So, and if he told you something, he'd do it.
Yep.
So, but
That's
he,
good.
he just wasn't into the hugging and the loving and all that. But he showed his love in some ways. So, but yeah, is there anything else you'd like to talk about tonight, Norma?
I think just don't be afraid to, talk to persons if they have a loss, and don't be afraid to bring up the past sometimes. Just say,
Yeah.
hey, and don't be afraid to say, hey. Or make a phone call, say, hey, do you want to go out to eat? Do you want to do this? And that's, get the persons out. Someone that gets them, and that's something like, I've told someone, I'm saying, well, sometimes somebody can just give me a phone call and say they want to go out to eat, and I'll go out. Or something, or I'll do something. And sometimes, like, I'm on Facebook a lot, and I'll say, anybody want to do anything tonight?
Uh-huh.
And usually, nobody answers back, or else, it's too late by the time I answer back.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's where maybe you might have to hint around at some people at church. Hey,
Yeah.
you want to go to lunch maybe? Or, hey, do you want to go to lunch after church? Or, yeah, sometimes we might be waiting forever if we wait for people. We might have to take that first step forward and kind of do it that way. But yeah. So, Doug, did you have anything you wanted to say? I spoke a lot.
I think it's just sitting here. We went to school together.
Yeah.
We never really know what people are going through.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
I didn't know you that well in school.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew each other, of
Yeah.
course. We didn't hang out or anything like that. But, I didn't know you lost your sister, and I didn't know you lost your dad.
Yeah.
So you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
So I think we need to
Be kind.
be kind and be gentle, because that you never know what that person is dealing with, and maybe they're acting out, and you never know why they're acting out, and so forth. But
And that's the way with kids at school. Kids don't think that
Well,
way.
kids aren't
they
mature
don't
enough to
know
think
enough to
that,
think
but,
that. And that's why children, the hurts of the school carries through their life. And it's just awful. At least the schools are trying to deal with bullying, but
Yeah. And I think something else, I don't know if they're doing it in this area, but down my way, if a classmate dies, they have counselors at the
yeah,
school
I
right
think
away.
they do.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
know we had some classmates died
yeah,
while we was in school, but they didn't bring it out in
I
any
don't
counselor.
remember any type
No,
of
No, they didn't
don't
have
have
it
counseling
then. But now,
available.
it's like, you're there if there's some kind of
Mm-hmm.
something going on, or,
Yeah.
it's just, I think that's nice and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, and I feel like growing up and going to school, I probably was in a minority being in a single parent family.
yeah.
Where
Yeah, back in
now,
our time.
well,
yeah.
nowadays,
You're pretty. That would be pretty, and it's not due to death nowadays. Back then, it was mainly if there was a loss
Yeah.
of a spouse, because people didn't get divorced too often back
Yeah.
then. So if you were, you most likely would have been in the minority.
yeah,
Yeah, you probably were.
Yeah,
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 and I was always on the heavy side, and even that back then I was more or less in a minority being on the heavy side, because not a whole lot of the other students were on the heavy side. Nowadays,
yeah. Yeah, nowadays a lot of kids are heavy. Yeah,
unfortunately,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
unfortunately it's affecting their health early, I know, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that comes from too much of this.
yeah,
well, there's too many. Yeah, there's too many things to occupy our time now.
yeah,
Than where before we didn't have anything. You just had to go outside and find stuff to do because
yeah,
but now it's too much sitting.
Yeah, not enough activity.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Too much of this.
Yep.
You're right about that,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Cell phones and video games.
Yep.
I don't like video games.
I didn't play video games. I
No,
wasn't a video
I was never
gamer.
a video game.
Of course, they really weren't out
Not like they are now.
whenever we were in school. They had Atari.
Yeah, toy.
I think we were already graduating.
I think
That
ping
ping-
pong.
Yeah,
Or that
so-
little thing that would go.
Yeah, so you lost
Yeah.
interest pretty quick. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, how much of this can I really do? So.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But, yeah, but actually, I don't have much more to say.
Okay. Well, Doug, I would appreciate if you would close with a word of prayer.
I can do that.
How about if we hold hands?
All right.
Father, we just thank you for this day, a beautiful day outside, and it's so easy to see you in that beauty. And we just thank you for the blessing of having Norma here with us this evening, Lord, and I ask your blessings upon her as she travels home tonight. Give her a safe passage home. And Father, I pray you strengthen her, and if she's still dealing with grief, just love on her, Lord. And we just thank you for this time that we can share together, and for those people out there watching that are also grieving, Lord, we just ask your blessings upon each one of them. And this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So what are you doing the rest of the night, Norma?
I'm going back to the hotel.
Oh!
You're not driving home tonight?
No, I got a hotel. I came last night.
Okay.
So where are you staying?
I'm Red Ray Inn, right near Turnpike. That's where I
Okay.
usually like to stay.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's a place to sleep. But
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Now, do you go to work tomorrow, or you just go back and go?
My work days are Tuesday through Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
so I'm going back tomorrow. I have an appointment with my chiropractor tomorrow at 4 o'clock, so I'll be back by then. That's what else I've been doing. I'm going to chiropractor every month and massage about every other month, so
Oh,
that's
wow.
helping, yeah.
Very good. Very good.
So
I hear a lot of people would swear by their chiropractor.
Yes,
That
sir.
really helps.
he's they're very strong in their faith and stuff.
Very
so,
good. Very
But
good.
yeah, and then I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my job. It's getting very stressful.
No, I'm sure I've asked you before where you work.
PennDOT.
PennDOT.
Ooh, okay.
That's where they come in, get their licenses, take the
Uh-huh.
noise test for a permit. I don't actually go outside to do the driving test, but yeah, it's just I was filling in as acting supervisor for about 4 months, and new one finally came on board about 2 weeks ago, and it's like I'm having stress, I'm having pain in my chest, and
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean I got it checked out. It's not my heart.
Nope.
It's just stress.
Oh, yeah.
Because the same thing, like when I used to work down in because I'm going in my 9th year with this job. When I worked in Lancaster, one day I made a U-turn and went to the Hershey Medical Center, and they checked me out, did EKG, blood work. It was just stress.
Oh, stress will do it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stress is like, it's there, like, it's like,
You can even feel like you get pressure there sometimes, and
oh yeah,
pains, and
oh yeah. So
rapid heartbeat.
it's almost like, and the customers will get the ruder, they're throwing more at you. It's like, if they don't have what they want. This real ID thing that came out, big headache. Oh yeah. It's like, well, what do you
People
mean?
aren't patient either.
Well, it's like, what do you mean I don't have the right birth certificate? What do you mean I don't have the right marriage certificate? Well, you don't.
Who was talking about
Yeah.
that? Were you talking about the real ID the other day?
Well, I went down to get my license renewed.
Okay,
and I
that's
had to
right.
come back for my passport.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
read the paper. It was my fault. But
It says right there if you're a CDL driver.
yeah, I see the other and
I just grabbed the
Yeah.
papers and
I know.
I just went. I should have known better. But I
Yeah,
didn't
you're
know.
not the only one that does that, yeah. And some of the CDL drivers get upset with that part.
And probably take it out on you too. I mean,
Yeah.
They do, it's like, and then some of them get mad, they
it's
call,
like,
and then they're,
hello, I didn't make the rules.
Yeah, I just work here.
Yeah.
yeah, they don't want to hear that part either.
No, they
It's
don't
like federal
care.
regulation. It's like, no.
People, the public is definitely getting ruder.
More
Yeah.
demanding.
Yeah,
more demanding.
and there again, you have that word entitlement.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're entitled to something.
Yeah.
It,
Hate to tell you this, folks, life ain't fair, and you ain't gonna get everything you want. You know?
Yeah, it's like, does your daughters, your kids know how to sign their name, how to do curse up?
They do cursive. Now, the boys are sloppier than the girls, but
Yeah, they can do it.
they can do it. But a lot of kids can't write cursive
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, when they come in for their permit, it's like, want to just show us how to do it? We don't have this going on. I'm like, well, you can teach yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell
You
them.
know, yeah.
It's like, you do your app, download an app.
Well, yeah. You have to know.
Sometimes
your
they don't like
signature.
that answer.
Yeah.
They kind of give you the look.
Yeah, they need to be teaching that in school. I
Yeah.
mean,
So-
you need to be able to sign your name.
Yeah.
You know, one's like, Ben, what's going to happen to them? It's like, I don't know.
Do you know what though? I noticed, Norma, that I use the, keyboard so much. Sometimes I actually have to think.
How to sign it?
To write. Not necessarily my name because I sign that
Yeah.
all the time, but just to write a word. It's like, oh my gosh, So.
Yeah, then you have to think about, wait, how do you spell that
How do you
word?
spell that word? It could
Spell
be
check.
Yeah.
And then we talk, sometimes we get talking about cell phone. I'm like, I'd be in trouble if I lost my cell phone because I don't know anybody's phone number anymore.
Well, yeah, I don't even. Yeah, because it's saved in the phone, so you
Yeah.
don't even have to look. You don't have to memorize it anymore.
Technology is actually making us dumb. I think it does. It makes us stupid because we don't have to think.
We don't have to
We
think.
don't
It
have to
thinks
think. We
for
don't
us.
use
Yeah.
your brain to function.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's like,
You push that button on the phone and get a phone number.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to dial the number. You just hit the button and
That's
dials
right.
it for
that's
you.
right.
That's right.
Calculator, all that stuff.
You don't even really have to have a phone in your hand. You have Bluetooth or
That's
Yeah.
right.
you know,
That's
it's like, and how many persons do you go by in a car? They're like, I'm like, really? That's where you're going?
Yeah.
Yeah, even though that's against the law, you see a lot of that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they pull out in front of you. They go through stop signs. It's like, really?
Yeah. Yep. It's a crazy world that we're living in.
It's like, why?
Yeah. It'd be nice to maybe go back to simpler days.
Oh yeah, like a lot of fast foods.
Yeah, we could
That's
become
what-
Amish. That would be alright. Horse and buggy and
Yeah.
We get some
Work.
Amish in there.
work for all you do.
So yeah, we get some Amish in there that, and some of them don't even have to have their picture on their ID, but they have to get special permission through their bishop and then through Harrisburg now. But yeah,
Well, we have some Amish people that we have work for us sometimes for certain jobs, and they do some pretty darn good work.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah, they're Mennonite, not Amish.
Oh, aren't
but
they? That's right, Mennonite. Okay. I don't, oh, that's right, Mennonites have cars and everything. So, yeah, they're not quite,
They're not true Amish.
they're not true Amish. Sorry, we don't know
They're
ours.
coming out with another law now where they're going to make them register their buggies.
that's what I heard. It's like,
Well,
what?
there you go,
I guess
there's
they're
another
trying-
aggravation for
Really
you.
throwing a stink about that, but
Yeah,
I think
I-
Wolf said he's ready to sign that.
Yeah, we don't do anything with the vehicle stuff at our sites, so we just do the driver's license. So
Okay.
yeah, but still, I heard that's like, why?
Huh,
Money.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
guess, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
it's crazy.
I know. It's like, I know. What can you say? But,
Not a whole heck of a lot.
I know. It's like, and every time you turn on the TV, there's a protest against the president somewhere.
Oh goodness, there's always going to be upset people. Doesn't matter who's where, what. Somebody's
Yeah.
upset. So.
And next year's election year again.
Yeah.
Is it already?
It'll be interesting. Yeah, 2020 is.
Yeah, they already had some presidential debates already.
Okay, you know what? I don't watch TV.
Yeah, so-
I don't watch it. I watch a little bit on Netflix and Hulu, and I have not watched TV. And I ask Doug every once in a while, is there anything I should know that's going on? Because, I just, anytime I turn the news on, I'm depressed.
Oh yeah.
So I just go, oh my gosh, click.
It's like, click.
I listen to it in the morning, and then that's about it.
That's right, because I change the radio station. I'll hear Fox News, and I think, oh my God, click.
You hear it once, you don't have to listen to it. They just talk about the same thing all day long.
Oh yeah, it's like that's how this presidential. This one showing this person. It's like, really? Oh no, it's like a lot of backstabbing and accusing each other. It's like, really?
Who would want to work in that job?
I would.
Who would want to be a politician and do all that?
I don't know.
You have
Nope.
to think with a different side of your brain.
Who would want that? Everything in their life brought up from what they did from the time they were 3.
I guess that's how you get a history of your family tree.
Yeah. Like, oh goodness, crazy. But anywho,
Yeah, so.
well, folks, it's been fun, And we'll catch up with you in a few more weeks, and maybe sometime we'll have Norma back on Talk Time.
Never know.
Never know. Never know.
So-
Good night, everyone.
And I pulled your name, so you owe me $25.
Good luck to get to that.
I get a little kickback.
Yeah, a little
Here, just tear
kickback.
this
Yeah,
check up.
just tear a quarter of it off.
Tear
Yeah.
a corner off.
Oh, goodness.